Okay, we're going to construct one construction. We're going to take an angle and we're going to use, I didn't print it like I meant to, so we're going to have to kind of turn it kitty corner, whatever you call it. We're going to turn it this way so that it's, because these, all of them on your classwork are like this, if I'm not mistaken. So turn it to where the angle looks like this. And we're going to call it just like we do in the little cutout. We're not going to glue this in until we get through with it. We'll actually put it over here at the bottom of page 21. And we're going to follow the steps. I'm just going to read through the steps and we're going to do it. You need to look at this when you do your classwork. We're going to do this one by the steps, then we're going to talk through the second one. So step 1 says, use a straight edge to draw a ray with endpoint D. Now they're using different letters. This is not the way I would label it. I would call it A prime. That's the way they do it. So we're going to follow that. So I'm going to go over here so I can stay in the camera, and I'm going to draw a segment on the line of my paper. And I'm going to put a D there. And I'm going to put a ray on the end of it. Now we take our lovely compass, and I switched compasses. This, we're not going to measure yet because you have to measure point to point. And I don't have any points I can measure. So if we're trying to make this angle, which is an acute angle down here, it says place the compass point at A and draw an arc that intersects both sides of it. So you want to take your compass and put your sharp pivot point on your A, and you want to move your compass to where it will touch both arcs. Both rays, I'm sorry. Both rays. Like that. Don't make it tiny. Don't make it too big that you've got to extend these out. Make it just fit that picture. Now, once you do that, don't move the pencil because we're replicating it. It's like copy and paste. Now, step number 3 is using the same, they call it the same setting. Take your sharp point and put it on D. Yeah, only touch the sharp point, and without touching the other side, I'm doing it one-handed, and sometimes it slips, so you have to be careful. Make an arc big enough, make sure you go far enough back that it's as big as that one so that we can make that angle down here. So just make it big enough so I don't have to go back and make it longer. Same measure. Look, everybody look. This is step 2. This is step 3. Now we have 2 points we can measure because the big deal is how big the angle is. We need to know how wide that angle is. Do you see 2 points we can measure? Now, when you get down here, you'll have to put your sharp point on that point. So when you measure it, left-handed, right-handed, you can measure across you got to measure across here. But I just put it down here. I think they call that point E. Nope, they don't. They call that B, don't they? And they call this one up here C. And they call this one E. So we need to measure how wide our angle is. So I'm going to take, now you're measuring. It's easier to put it on B. I don't know about left-handed, right-handed, but you can do it on B or C and put your sharp point on one of these 2 points. You can only measure the distance between points. And so move your pencil until you get the width of the angle. See, you're measuring that distance. Just measuring. So you move your pencil and then you let go of it. Measure. See, I'm just holding the sharp point. Now, if you measured it this way, that's fine if you're left-handed, but here's the deal. When you pick it up, the only place you can put that sharp point is right here. There is no point up here to put it on. So I measure this way, and then I just move it down here. And I'm going to make a little arc where that point crosses, where these 2 arcs cross, which is now the width of the angle. Now, to make this ray now, like AC, I need point D, and I need another point like C, and they call it probably F. Now take your straight edge and draw a ray through F, DF, and there's your angle. It's, step 1, we drew DE. Step 2, we drew arc BC. Step 3, we drew arc EF. Step 4, we measured BC. And then step 5, we marked F and drew the ray. What did I do first? Step 1, draw a ray like the bottom ray. And I'm not putting letters on them. I'm just doing what it says. So I take my ruler, and I'm going to go down here. I'm going to go down a little bit further because it is obtuse. And I'm going to draw my ray like this ray. And I am going to put an arrow on the end of it. What did we do next? We took our compass, and what did we do with it? Make an arc on the original angle. So I've got to squeeze it down a little bit. Okay, do that here, and then do it down here. Now again, some people don't do the whole thing. They just do separate marks, but you really probably, for neatness, and mine's sliding a little bit, and they will, and you just have to, I'm not looking for perfection, I'm looking for the marks, and you need to make it big like that one. Did I go back up here and do? I got to measure what? How big the angle is. How do I do that? Go across the angle with your compass. Either way, you can go sharp point up here or sharp point down here. It's got to be point to point. Now, when I bring it down here, I've got to, left-handed, right-handed, you got to put your sharp point on that point right there. And you cross the arc. Now, if it's not big enough, see what happened here was when you drew that arc, you'd almost have to start again. You might could go back up and do it again, but that's the problem. You want to make this arc big enough, go all the way down so that you don't have to go back because you've moved your compass. Now, do you have 2 points to make the other side? There's a point, and there's a point, and there's your new angle.